Have you ever wondered what separates the good from the truly great? I'm talking about the Navy SEALs who push through unimaginable pain, the Olympians who shatter world records, and the CEOs who build empires from scratch. Is it just talent? Raw intelligence? Or is there something else, a hidden operating system that powers their success? The answer, it turns out, is less about what they have and more about what they do, specifically how they train their minds. Today, we're diving deep into the mental resilience routines that Navy SEALs, Olympians, and top CEOs all use to perform under extreme pressure. And trust me, these aren't just for the elite. You can start using these exact same techniques to conquer your own challenges starting right now. Let's start with the Navy SEALs. When your job involves life or death situations daily, your mind is your primary weapon. One of their core mental training techniques is something they call the 4 pillars of mental toughness. These are goal setting, visualization, positive self-talk, and arousal control. It sounds complex, but it's incredibly practical. Goal setting isn't about big dreams. It's about micro goals. A SEAL in training isn't thinking about finishing the entire grueling hell week. They're focused on making it to the next meal, the next drill, the next sunrise. By breaking down an overwhelming challenge into tiny, manageable chunks, the impossible becomes possible. This process builds momentum and proves to your brain that you can keep going. Next is visualization. Before a mission, a SEAL doesn't just review the plan. They live it in their mind. They mentally rehearse every step, every possible contingency, every single action and reaction. They feel the weight of their gear. They hear the sounds of the environment. They see themselves executing the plan flawlessly. This isn't just daydreaming. Neuroscientists have shown that detailed visualization activates the same neural pathways as actually performing the action. It builds muscle memory in the brain, reducing fear of the unknown and making success feel familiar, almost inevitable. When the real moment comes, they've already been there and done that 100 times in their head. The third pillar is positive self-talk. You might think this is just cheesy positive affirmations, but for a SEAL, it's a tactical tool. When their body is screaming to quit, their inner voice isn't a critic. It's a coach. They replace thoughts like, I can't do this with, I am trained for this, or just one more step. This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about consciously directing your inner dialogue away from panic and toward capability. It's a constant, deliberate practice of framing the narrative in your own mind. It's the difference between being your own worst enemy and your own most powerful ally. Finally, there's arousal control. This is about managing your physiological response to stress. When your heart is pounding and adrenaline is surging, it's hard to think clearly. SEALs use specific breathing techniques, like box breathing, to calm their nervous system on command. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. This simple act sends a signal to your brain that you are in control, not the stress. It lowers your heart rate, clears your mind, and allows you to make calm, rational decisions in the middle of chaos. It's a superpower you can access anytime, anywhere, just with your breath. Now, let's shift from the battlefield to the Olympic arena. What do elite athletes have in common with SEALs? An obsessive focus on mastering their internal state. For Olympians, the pressure is immense. Years of training boil down to a few critical moments. A key mental routine for them is process-oriented focus, while we, the spectators, are fixated on the gold medal, the outcome. The athletes are not. They are relentlessly focused on the process. A swimmer isn't thinking, I have to win. They're thinking powerful pull, tight core, explosive kick. An archer isn't thinking don't miss the bullseye. They're thinking smooth draw, steady anchor, clean release. By concentrating on the small, controllable actions of their performance, they shut out the overwhelming pressure of the outcome. This keeps them grounded in the present moment, which is the only place where performance actually happens. Worrying about winning or losing is a distraction that pulls you into the future or the past. Focusing on the perfect execution of one single step right now is the secret to stringing together a winning performance. This is a powerful lesson for all of us. Whether you're giving a presentation or running a marathon, Obsess over the process, not the prize. The prize will take care of itself. Another critical routine for Olympians is what psychologists call pre-performance rituals. Have you ever noticed a basketball player bouncing the ball exactly 3 times before a free throw? Or a diver performing the same series of stretches before every dive? These aren't just superstitions. These rituals are psychological anchors. They signal to the brain and body that it's go time. The familiar sequence of actions creates a sense of comfort, control, and predictability in a high-stakes environment. It quiets the mental chatter and shifts the athlete into their performance mindset, almost like flipping a switch. You can create your own rituals before important events in your life, listening to a specific song, reviewing your notes in a certain way, or taking a few deep breaths. It primes you for success. Finally, let's look inside the C-suite. What about the top CEOs running global companies? They face a different kind of battle, one of relentless decision-making, long-term strategic uncertainty, and immense responsibility. One of their most common yet powerful mental routines is decisive action and radical acceptance. CEOs have to make hundreds of decisions, often with incomplete information. They can't afford to be paralyzed by analysis. They train themselves to gather the best available data, make a clear decision, and then move forward with full commitment. But here's the crucial second part: radical acceptance. Once a decision is made and the outcome is realized, whether good or bad, they don't waste mental energy on what-ifs or regret. They accept the reality of the situation as it is. If it was a success, they analyze why and replicate it. If it was a failure, they extract the lesson without blame or shame and immediately apply that learning to the next decision. This mental discipline of decide, commit, accept, learn, repeat prevents the emotional drain of second-guessing and allows them to maintain forward momentum. It's about treating failures as data points, not as personal indictments. Another key mental habit for top executives is scheduled solitude. In a world of back-to-back meetings and constant communication, leaders like Bill Gates are famous for their think weeks, where they disconnect completely to read, think, and strategize. You don't need a whole week, though. Successful CEOs build non-negotiable blocks of time into their calendars, even just 30 minutes a day for quiet, deep thinking. This isn't empty time, it's strategic time. It's when they connect disparate ideas, anticipate future trends, and solve their most complex problems. They protect this solitude fiercely, because they know that constant reactivity is the enemy of visionary leadership. True clarity doesn't come from more information. It comes from having the space to process it. So, what's the common thread here? Whether you're a SEAL, an Olympian, or a CEO, greatness isn't about being fearless or flawless. It's about having a toolbox of mental routines to manage fear and learn from flaws. It's about breaking down huge goals, visualizing success, controlling your self-talk, and mastering your physiological responses. It's about focusing on the process, creating performance rituals, making decisive choices, and carving out time for deep thought. These aren't genetic traits. They are practice skills. You can start small. Pick one. Try box breathing the next time you feel stressed. Break your next big project into tiny, manageable goals. Consciously change your self-talk when you face a setback. The arena might be different, but the mental game is the same. By training your mind with the same discipline these high performers do, you can unlock a level of resilience and achievement you never thought possible. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this valuable, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on how to unlock your full potential. Let me know in the comments which of these techniques you're going to try first. I'll see you in the next video.